Good morning. Good morning. I am so excited about our guest on Thoughtful Thursdays today. She's a friend of mine, Kim Woods, and she does all kinds of things. She's a makeup artist. She works on movies and films and does so many things. I mean, she's just very interesting. So she's going to tell us a little bit about her life. But first of all, let me welcome my co-host, Barbara Ellison, and we will just be chatting this morning. So get your cup of coffee, sit down, and enjoy the morning. So be thoughtful today. Barbara, you want to start off? Do you have any questions? Because I know Kim better than you do. So
you know what? The thing is, it's all about conversation. And so often I'm going to tell on myself, makeup has not been always my strong suit. So I am just so excited to just pick your brain and get some, because I'm a happiness girl. I want people to, that's my thing, is that I want people to, I want to make happiness the norm rather than the exception. Well, part of happiness is liking how you look.
yes.
I mean, as much as we are, that we want to be all, okay, fine, we're not vain, but you know what? We all have a spark of vanity in us that we do want to look our best. And so that's what I'm just excited to hear, just some tips and things of what we can do and how you got into makeup to begin with.
Okay. I don't think that vanity is really what because we're all believers here and we know where our source is. And we're also, Kim, we're very blunt about that on the show. So don't hold back. But it's, we want to be our best. And it's excellence. It's not pride. It's not vanity. I mean, it can get into that. But I think for those of us here, it's more about being our best in every area. So take it away, Miss Kim.
Okay. Well, since you mentioned that, I think it's really interesting because I did come to a point in my career where I question, God, is this really where you want me to be?
All of us have done that.
Yeah. Well, I did it with the modeling industry.
And in the movie field, sometimes my department is referred to as vanities. So I had to ask God, did I go down the wrong path by accident? Is this really where you want me to be? But he's definitely put me here because I feel like I kind of fell into this career by accident. It does go along with a lot of my personality, so it makes sense. But it wasn't like I just sat down one day and said, you know what, I'm going to be a makeup artist and I'm going to check off these boxes so I could do that. It didn't start out that way at all. I have always had a love for beauty. When I was a little girl, I played dress up all of the time. And so really, I was more interested in fashion. Yeah, but I'm a very introverted personality. And when I was graduating high school, I was very shy. And so I did not have the desire to run off to New York and go to FIT and learn fashion design. I might do it now. But back then I was very reserved and just very comfortable being near my family and had no desire to just move off by myself and follow some dream of being a fashion designer. But I feel like my love for fashion definitely helped bring me into makeup. I actually had a friend who pushed me into the industry. She was a close friend of mine in Dallas, and she had been going to school to become an art major, and she had a sudden change of direction, and she had decided she wanted to be a makeup artist. And I was concerned. I thought, you're going to throw away your education and do this. I didn't think it was a real job. I didn't think that somebody could make a living at that. Like it was just a wish, And then a few years later, after she became pretty successful at it, she nudged me and said, "Hey, Dillard's is opening a Mac counter in your area and you need to go apply." Because I had been doing her makeup when we were younger, back in the 90s, when home computers became a thing. I published a zine out of my parents' house for pen pals that went worldwide. Just a little private publication so that I could get more pen pals. But that's kind of how the makeup thing and my friendship with her started. And I worked there for 6 years, and then Vogue magazine came into town, I think in 2011, maybe 2012. And I heard through the grapevine that they had hired a local person to assist with the photo shoot. And I was crushed. I was crushed because that would have been the most amazing thing to work with Vogue magazine. And so from that point on, I just made it a promise that I would never be left out of the loop on anything. And that's when I really dove in and decided I'm going to make a name and really be known for this.
Right. You know, and I'm so glad you're saying that, because what you've just said really can apply to everything.
Mhm.
Determine what it is that you want to do and then figure out how to go and do it. I do have to tell you, my granddaughter is just turned 11. But like 2 years ago, she came down the stairs fully made up. She had gotten into her mom's makeup. And I went, "Elsa," and she said, "Oh," I said, "How did you do that?" She said, "Well, I watched a YouTube video." I mean, I can see this girl, she loves doing it. And you know what? I can absolutely see her going into some kind of, because she's the Little Miss Drama Queen. She is our Little Miss Mischief.
Weren't we all?
Oh,
I can definitely identify with that, and getting into mother's makeup. I have vivid memories of that.
Miss Mischief. And I was always the tomboy. So I think that's why, like, when I see somebody that really knows how to do makeup, and I'm like one day I was watching Carol, it was like, "Oh, that's what you do." I'm 70 years old and still don't know little tricks, tips and tricks.
I'm in our mastermind driving down the road doing my makeup.
Yeah,
Oops.
do that.
As a kid, I was a tomboy, but I still loved playing in the makeup. I had, a fit in both worlds.
See, I didn't care. I didn't play with dolls. Now I loved hats. I would run around. I walked around as a little kid with a hanger around my head because I wanted hats. Don't ask me. Never. I live in the Panhandle of Texas. We don't wear hats around here very often because you'll lose them.
No, they'll get blown away.
Yeah. And yet hats are something that I wear well, but I don't wear them. And my favorite one got lost not long ago. I bought a cute little red fedora. It was a knitted red fedora to wear to London. It was kind of slightly fuzzy, kind of a Chanel. And I lost it 2 winters ago, and I'm still mourning it because I would put it on in rain. That's how I used it around here, just to, to keep my hair dry rather than messing with an umbrella or toboggans, that kind of thing. But yeah, I never was the girly girl, but then I end up having all boys, 3 boys in 3 years, and then having a modeling agency. So I had daughters around the world. But yeah.
So I had boys, and I think that I lucked out, because if I had girls, they would definitely be interested in digging through my makeup kit.
True.
I had boys too. And I look back and go, it just wasn't my thing. And yet,
interesting enough.
But yet I did become a hairdresser.
You did? I didn't know you were a hairdresser.
Yeah. So quote, interesting enough, what?
Oh, interesting enough, it used to be only men that were makeup artists.
True.
Yeah.
True.
That's why all the makeup names are named the way they are.
Yeah. But okay, so now was it like this morning, Donna, the three of us, we were talking about, she was the athletic director, and she talked about getting a job back in the day because she was a woman, because she was one of the first female athletic, I think she was the first female.
She was the first,
the first female athletic trainer.
For a major league baseball farm team.
Yeah. And it was like, wow. And you never think that what you're doing, like Gloria Steinem, hey, you might not always agree with her, but she did move the needle forward. And whoops, I'm sorry.
Very good.
Hello.
But yeah, so it's always interesting of how people have gotten into what they do and how they led the way.
Yeah, and for me, I think that I would have coasted in that position with that steady paycheck if I had not tasted that little bit of disappointment, and that really got my juices going and my motivation going, was that feeling like I had lost that opportunity, had let it slip by.
Yeah.
But I bet you had a lot of different things after that.
Yes.
Can you share any of the stuff you've done lately? Are you at liberty?
Oh yeah, I can share.
Okay. I know for a while you were kind of under a gag order, so to speak.
Sometimes it's not very frequent, but there are times where a client will prefer just to have and not talk about it. But I did get to do, I was department head of a movie that was filmed locally, mostly in Amarillo and Claude, and it was called What Remains. And from what I understand, they are finished editing it now. So it won't be long before I get to watch it in its entirety, but it had Cress Williams, Kellen Lutz, and Anne Heche.
Oh,
Heche.
wow.
I don't know if I'm saying her name right.
Yeah, I think it depends on who you listen to.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I like Anne Heche. Yeah.
She was very energetic. She drank a lot of Red Bulls.
We need to talk to her. That's not healthy. Oh, maybe I should have worked with you on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Wow.
And then occasionally I do commercials or political campaigns, but I also work with a lot of private clients, and that's really a majority of what I do when I'm not working in film and TV and commercial. And so I am teaching the everyday woman how to navigate makeup. This can be really confusing right now, especially with all of the tutorial videos out there that, I notice that sometimes these influencers have a very different way, very different approach to applying makeup than the techniques that I've been taught from the celebrity makeup artists that I've taken classes from, and the training that I received from Mac. So it can be very confusing. Sometimes I think that those techniques are definitely designed to sell a product, more products, more ways to apply. Like, I always cringe when I see people pumping foundation straight on the face from the bottle and it's dripping. Nobody needs that much makeup on their face.
But it sells more bottles.
It definitely does. And especially when you're dabbing it on with a thirsty sponge, and then most of the product is going into the sponge.
And not on the face. Yeah,
exactly.
Wow.
So Barbara, what is your question? Well, you have we'll say semi world famous makeup artist here. What's your question?
I know, think I'm just like flabbergasted. It's like, oh yeah, exactly that. I've got this world famous. And, and I'm kind of one of those that I have to look at YouTube. Okay, I'll give you an example. I just had to have my eyelids done.
Yes.
Because, and I had gone to the doctor and I said, you know what, I'm really having to blink a lot. And he said, oh yeah, he said, you better go and have your eyes looked at because your eyelids, and I had already lost 20 points of my vision because of my eyelids.
Were they drooping?
They were drooping.
They were down over her vision. Yeah.
Over my vision. And like, I look back now on my pictures and go, oh, wow, they really were. But at the time I didn't notice it. But as I was starting to notice it. Mm-hmm. Well, now I've had to totally, it's like, oh, yike. What do I do with my eyes? I mean, to me, they look very different.
Yeah, it would be like putting makeup on a completely different person.
I have to just, and even just, so my eyes are very different. And like, I even feel like my cheekbones are different. And,
mm-hmm. and yes. Okay, let's talk about that. So one of the most common things that people come to me about is they feel like they're still doing the same makeup that they did back when they were in high school. 25
years ago, and just not working.
Right. Well, and I've said for years, you can pinpoint when somebody graduated by looking at their makeup. I mean, at least half of the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's definitely some trends that people will hold on to for the rest of their lives. Like, I definitely think we're going to see, with the millennials, when they did that really strong brow where it almost looked like Sharpie, I have a feeling some of those are going to hold on to that for a long time. Or
it's their comfort zone.
The wing liner just seems to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But this generation is not the only generation who's done wild things with their makeup. If you look back in time to the 20s and 30s and 40s, their eyebrows were all over the place, thin, thick, high, low, and completely.
It's just like we were talking about shoulder pads the other day, the wonderful Dallas days with the big shoulder pads.
Dallas days,
so skinny.
People's heads looked this big and
but your body looked so skinny.
You're right.
The power.
It made all of us a triangle.
Yeah.
The shoulder pads made us all a triangle, and it was great. And Carol and I came on the other day, and it was like, I said, I just feel like my shoulders are sloped. Yeah. I miss shoulder pads.
And we will see that again. I'm sure of it.
Oh yeah. Probably pretty soon. The skinny pants are gone out, and the pant legs are already getting wider. So they're going to have to do the shoulder pads pretty soon.
And the platform shoes.
Oh, I loved those. Those.
I'm so glad those are back too. I love the chunky platform boots.
Oh, in high school, I had like 4-inch on the front half, 4-inch platforms that I wore to school.
That's awesome.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, because Carol, you're younger than I am. And yet I can remember having some tops that I wore that I used to wear as a dress.
Oh yeah. Oh well. Yeah.
Then they became a top. And I remember, okay, I'm going to date myself here. I remember when elephant pants came in. My mother just
I don't know if I know what an elephant pant is. That like a wide leg?
It's a palazzo.
Okay.
Pant. Yeah, we called them Janis Joplin pants in my day.
Okay. Yeah. And my mother was like, you are not going out of the house with that.
Why?
And she was very conservative. And it was like, but then finally, I mean, when you have
it wasn't like girls, you were out in a Madonna outfit.
Well, no, I think we almost did that too. So with 4 girls, I mean, because we would go out the house dressed conservatively, and of course we would get around the corner.
Yeah.
and in school, I'm Canadian, and we always wore uniforms. So when we went out, it was like, oh yeah, we went out. we would have all these weird, just funky. And I look back now and go, oh, yeah, we wore those.
So I have a question.
Okay.
What is your favorite thing that you do?
Oh my goodness.
And it can be work or home or whatever.
Oh, are you talking about like work related?
No, home, work,
Home?
playtime. It's whatever. What's your favorite thing?
I have so many favorite things. I love the hunt. I love looking for really nice designer pieces in unlikely places.
Mhm.
I have found a Chanel jacket at an estate sale sandwiched between two craft sweatshirts. Do you remember the ones that you put lace around the collar and
Yeah.
And
cute
painted
limbs?
on them.
I found a Chanel jacket from 1994
Wow.
and I paid $2 for it.
Mhm.
That is one of my favorite things to do. I love
I don't like the
beautiful-
hunt. I like the find. I'm
I
not
like
a
that.
big hunter, but I
Yeah.
love the
Yeah.
find.
Yeah.
So I
So
need to
I-
give
I
you
do
my
love
list
that.
and let you find for me.
Can
Or
I
take
tell
me
them
hunting. Take me
Can I
hunting.
It's
tell
so
them-
exciting. And it doesn't necessarily have to fit me because I'm going to find it a good home. And I
Right.
get really excited when I resell it and it's somebody who's just obsessed, has been collecting, or I can give them a good deal. We both win. And then
So
this
do you
beautiful
have a
piece
site where people
is-
can go and look? Like, do you have an SD store or something?
I resell on Macari,
Okay.
and I have a lot of things I need to put up on there actually.
Okay.
That's not my favorite thing to do, is to list them once I find them, but I definitely love treasure hunting. I love doing cut and paste vision boards. That's one of my favorite things to do. I love teaching people. That makes me super happy, passing along my the
Actually
information that
teaching
I've
makeup?
gleaned from others to young artists.
Teaching makeup. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, cool. See, now that's you'll have to have a class. I'll have to come to Texas.
Yeah, you should. You should.
Next time, yeah, well, we were just
Next
in
time we
Dallas.
go to Dallas, you'll have to run
Next
up here.
time
Of
we do
course,
it-
we're as close to you are as we are to Dallas. So that's the thing that throws everybody.
I also had a lot of fun volunteering for Colorful Closets not that long ago. And I got to do a lot of really wild makeup for the kids that went on the runway. So we did face
I
paint
haven't
and
heard about
glitter and
Colorful
flowers.
Closets.
Do
Tell
what?
me now, what's Colorful Closets? I hadn't heard.
Colorful Closets is a nonprofit organization that helps kids get clothes that don't have clothes, so that they have the confidence and they just feel good, because when you look good, you feel good.
Yeah. Next time y'all do
Exactly.
something, call me because
Okay.
I'd love to help.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Well, that's like with me as a hairdresser. I mean, we used to go to the Midwest Beauty Show.
Ooh,
Mm.
that sounds fun.
It was just, and I have hair that it was very forgiving. And I have had some weird things done to my hair.
I used to love to get done like that, where they'll put you
yeah.
on stage and they'll do it with razors and just
Yeah, they just
or
do all sorts
fire
of-
to have them fire your hair and stuff like that. So, and of course, I supplied models for that too. And then I got to do it. So that was fun.
That is
Oh,
fun.
yeah, and I've been every color in the book.
Mhm.
Every color in the book. And one time I was at one of the Midwest beauty shows and downtown, Chicago, big place. And I came out of there and they had done this really avant-garde hairdo and it was bright pink. Well, then we were going out for dinner.
And that was before everybody was running
some
around
looks.
with it, right?
Right. It wasn't that common. Now you look around and everybody's
People
got.
do that all the time, but it's so because that during the Midwest Beauty Show, and then never thought of it that, oh yeah, we're going out for dinner, and I just went, oh well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a time when I did a photo shoot for a model, and we put a bald cap on her. And she played a trick on her boyfriend and told him that she shaved her head for the shoot.
How did he
And then they
react?
went out to dinner and she had that bald cap on.
So how did he react?
Oh,
Did he like it, not
she,
like it?
you can kind of tell when someone's pulling your leg, and she might have had him going for a couple of seconds, but then,
Yeah.
you can always tell when somebody's trying to pull one over on you.
Yeah. That would be fun.
That would be.
fun.
No, that's definitely another favorite thing I do is I love doing special effects, the messy stuff, gory, or just
That's what I like doing.
transforming.
Yeah.
Yeah. A friend of mine, she was the makeup artist for our haunted house here where I live. And they make it in it's an old theater. And so they make the haunted house. And so, I mean, I was scared going through it in the daylight. I don't know how people went through it at night. But anyways, so for several years, I helped her I learned how to do bloody scars. And I mean, one of the gals, I had stabbed her. And it was absolutely these gory things, but it was such fun.
Well, I think part of the fun is that it's just so out there.
Because the gorier, the better.
Right. And there's really not that pressure. Like sometimes in my line of work, someone will sit in a chair and want me to wave a magic wand and make them somebody else for like a wedding or something. And sometimes people have unrealistic expectations. And so that can weigh really heavy on me to make sure that people do have realistic expectations on what I can and can't do. Right. And so with special effects or doing children's faces with flowers and things, stars, patterns, the pressure's not there because kids are always going to be honest whether they like something or not. Whereas a bride may say it's fine and then turn around and, change something or, not want to hurt your feelings. And so with the more creative stuff, I get that freedom and I get to rest easy. I don't have to ask a million questions and make sure that I'm reading them to see if they're being honest, because everybody has a different idea of what beautiful is.
Oh yeah.
So
exactly.
I can remember one time when I was in the beginning of my career and I was working at the Mac counter, this woman had booked a makeover and she said, I just want something natural. And so I proceeded to do something natural on her and I handed the mirror and she was like, no, natural, like Kim Kardashian. And after that, it completely taught me that I have this picture now on a scale of 1 to 5, and it has very natural to very heavy makeup. And I hand that to first-time clients and I say, where's your comfort zone? Because the word natural could mean something completely different.
That is bizarre.
To somebody else. And so, or, I might do great grandma's makeup in a wedding party and she's insistent on blue frost eyeshadow, right? Because she's always worn it, going back to the things we get stuck on in high school. And she's not going to feel beautiful unless she has that. So
she's sparkly. So
it's all relative. And you definitely have to learn how to read people.
Yeah. How do people get a hold of you if they want your services? Whether it's a Zoom call because they're in Timbuktu, or if they're local, how do people get a hold of you? Do you have a website or an email?
Just Google Amarillo Makeup Artist. My website is AmarilloMakeup.com.
Okay, wonderful.
And so I'm very easy to find if you're local looking for a makeup artist. And then I also have another URL that goes to the same place, and it's thekimwood.com. I had to put a THE in front of it because kimwood.com was taken by a lumber company somewhere.
Okay. Okay.
But I will do Zoom consultations or in-person consultations.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. There you
I'm
go,
excited.
Barbara. You can get a consultation and learn how to do your makeup.
Yeah, just, since I've had my eyes done, I've been experimenting with a few different things and just looking at different YouTube videos. I mean, just,
Yeah.
Well, and what I've experienced when watching those YouTube videos is that it's a very cookie cutter system that they teach.
Yeah.
And that doesn't always work with everyone's bone structure or features. And so you really have to look at what that person has before you tell them what to do, because what works on one person might not work on another person.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well,
So
and I was at a restaurant one time, and I was out in front with some of my people that I was training in this area, and there was a meeting going on the back. When we first started, we didn't realize that there's a meeting going on the back that was a particular makeup company, very famous Texas makeup company. And the people started walking out, and cookie cutter is exactly, I mean, every one of them looked just alike, tall, skinny, fat, then
I always tell people, when you're looking for a makeup artist at a beauty counter, just look at how they do their makeup. Because if you like how they do it on themselves, chances are that's how they're going to do it on you.
And that's so true, except for tattoo artists. Don't ever choose a tattoo artist according to their art, because they didn't do it.
Oh, no, they didn't.
No, they didn't. But with makeup, oh yeah, that is a good way. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good information for our Mavens. Kim, I just want to thank you so much for coming on. This has been fun.
this is
Yeah.
Maybe I can come back and I will do a makeup demo for you guys.
That would be awesome.
We may have to do a little
on that.
workshop that, we'll talk off camera about that, because that's kind of a place we're headed as Mavens. So, okay. All right. Well, listen, thank y'all for coming today. I've had a blast.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you so
Be
much.
sure to share, like, send it out to your friends. Tell them all about the Mavens of Motivation. Thanks. Bye.